*5. Small changes create big results. When people decide to change their lives, they often think they need to make huge changes overnight. They promise to wake up at 5 a.m., exercise every day, eat perfectly, read a book every week, and never procrastinate again. For a few days, everything goes well. Then reality hits. The routine becomes exhausting, motivation fades, and old habits quietly return. The problem isn't that your goals are too big. The problem is that your first step is too big. Your brain naturally resists sudden change because it sees it as expensive and risky. But tiny actions feel safe. Reading just one page, doing one push-up, drinking one extra glass of water, writing one sentence. These actions may seem almost meaningless. But every small action sends your brain the same message. This is who I am becoming. Over time, these tiny behaviors begin to stack on top of each other. One page becomes a chapter. One push-up becomes a workout. One healthy meal becomes a healthier lifestyle. Success is rarely the result of one giant decision. It's usually the result of hundreds of small choices repeated over and over again. Remember, your future isn't built by what you do once. It's built by what you choose to do every single day. *4. Your environment shapes your habits more than motivation. Most people believe that success comes from having more discipline. But research suggests something surprising. Your environment often has a much greater influence on your behavior than your motivation does. Think about it. If a bowl of candy is sitting on your desk all day, you'll probably eat some without even thinking. But if the candy is hidden in another room and a bowl of fresh fruit is right in front of you, your choice suddenly becomes much easier. The temptation didn't disappear. The environment changed. Your brain naturally chooses whatever requires the least effort. That's why people who consistently build good habits don't depend on endless self-control. Instead, they redesign their surroundings. Want to read more books? Leave one on your pillow before you leave the house. Want to drink more water? Keep a full bottle on your desk where you can always see it. Want to stop checking your phone every 5 minutes? Move it out of reach while you work. These tiny changes may seem almost too simple. But they work because they remove friction from good habits and add friction to bad ones. Your brain follows the path that's easiest to access. The less effort a good habit requires, the more likely you'll repeat it. And every repetition makes that habit stronger. Sometimes, changing your life doesn't begin by changing yourself. It begins by changing what's around you. *3. Why willpower always runs out. Have you ever started the day feeling motivated, only to give up by the evening? You promised yourself you wouldn't eat junk food. You wouldn't scroll endlessly on your phone. You would finally start working on that important goal. But somehow, by the end of the day, your plans disappeared. This isn't because you're lazy. It's because willpower is a limited resource. Every decision you make throughout the day consumes a small amount of mental energy. Choosing what to wear, answering emails, solving problems, resisting temptations, your brain is constantly spending energy. As the day goes on, that mental fuel begins to run low. When you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, your brain naturally looks for the easiest and most familiar option. That's when old habits take control. It's much easier to grab a bag of chips than prepare a healthy meal. It's much easier to watch one more video than begin a difficult project. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's simply trying to save energy by returning to behaviors it already knows. This is why successful people don't rely on motivation alone. Instead, they build systems and environments that make good habits easier than bad ones. Because when the right choice becomes the easy choice, your brain no longer has to fight itself. Real change doesn't happen because you become stronger every day. It happens because you make the better choice easier to repeat. And that's where lasting habits are truly built. *2. Habits are your brain's shortcut. Have you ever caught yourself unlocking your phone without even realizing it? Maybe you only wanted to check the time, but a few seconds later, you're scrolling through social media, and 10 minutes have disappeared. This happens because your brain loves shortcuts. Every time you repeat the same behavior, the connections between your brain cells become a little stronger. Over time, your brain stores that behavior as a habit, allowing you to perform it automatically without using much mental energy. Think of it like creating a path through a forest. The first time you walk through, you have to push aside branches and find your way. It's slow and difficult. But if you walk the same route every day, the path becomes wider, smoother, and easier to follow. Eventually, you don't even need to think about where you're going. Your brain works exactly the same way. Every repeated action builds a stronger neural pathway. The more often you repeat it, the less effort your brain needs to perform it. That's why habits can feel so powerful. Whether it's exercising every morning or reaching for your phone whenever you're bored, your brain treats both behaviors the same. It simply follows the path you've reinforced the most. The encouraging news is that old pathways aren't permanent. Every time you choose a new behavior, you begin creating a different path. At first, it feels awkward and difficult, but with consistency, that new path grows stronger while the old one slowly fades. Your brain is always learning. The question is, what are you teaching it every single day? ***1. Your brain is built to save energy. Every day, your brain makes thousands of decisions without you even realizing it. From the moment you wake up to the time you go to sleep, it is constantly looking for one thing: the easiest path. This isn't laziness, it's efficiency. Although your brain makes up only about 2% of your body weight, it consumes around 20% of your body's energy. Because of this, it has evolved to conserve as much energy as possible. Whenever it can turn a repeated action into an automatic habit, it does. Think about tying your shoes or brushing your teeth. You probably don't stop to think about every movement anymore. Your brain has stored these actions as routines, allowing you to perform them with almost no conscious effort. The same process happens with unhealthy habits. Checking your phone every few minutes, eating junk food when you're stressed, or procrastinating on important tasks may have started as conscious choices. But after enough repetition, your brain treats them just like brushing your teeth: automatic, familiar, and efficient. This is why relying on willpower alone often fails. You're not fighting a lack of motivation. You're competing against neural pathways that have been strengthened hundreds or even thousands of times. The good news is that your brain is not fixed. Thanks to a remarkable ability called neuroplasticity, it can build new pathways and weaken old ones. Every small positive action is like taking one more step on a new trail. With enough repetition, that new path becomes easier to follow than the old one. Understanding this simple truth is the first step toward changing your life. Once you learn how your brain creates habits, you'll discover that lasting change is not about becoming stronger, it's about becoming smarter than your own automatic programming.